I drop in with confidence, the dangerous kind, the sort that only comes from someone who thinks they know what they're doing. My plan is simple: land, grab a gun, steal a DeLorean, and drive around like a smug little time-travelling menace. There's just one small flaw in this flawless plan. The DeLorean isn't here. Now, to be fair, I've only played a couple of games since the update. Apparently, reading patch notes is beneath me. So I arrive expecting a shiny time machine, and instead I get absolutely nothing. No DeLorean, no slurp truck. Maybe somebody already took them. Or maybe this is just a wild theory. I simply didn't notice they removed them. So I improvise, which in my case means driving a very battered Porsche around in circles and letting some poor soul at the garage shotgun me repeatedly while I sit there counting the shots. 1, 2, 3, and I'm generally trying to figure out if he's real, because most real players will jump in the car by now. But before I can finish my scientific investigation, some party people on the mountain start shooting us and ruins the whole experiment. So I abandon the car, which at this point looks like it survived 3 wars and a divorce. I head back to the garage. I have no intention of fighting anyone now. There's a guy on a hill, there's a guy at the garage. I just want the Portaloo. That's the dream now, not the victory, not the glory, just a quiet little toilet. So I slide down towards the slurp truck near the dock, and the slurp truck is gone. Of course it is. The one at the garage is gone, and the one at the docks is gone. Clearly my videos have become far too popular in the Thai lobby. I started looting my roots. So I sit there watching the building suspiciously. Eventually I spot someone inside smashing the slurp barrels. Great. They've already had the slurp truck, and now they want the barrels as well. Meanwhile, I'm here with an SMG and the emotional stability of someone who's just realised their entire drop plan was absolutely pointless. So I do what any rational person would do. I watch. And I finally manage to scrape together a shotgun from a chest. Small mercies. I'm pretty sure it's Emma Frost, the same one that was standing next to me in the lobby. But now I'm annoyed. Garage looted, dock looted. Emma Frost has moved to the other dock, which means there's no point in me going there. So I retreat to the house by the Portaloo and loot what I should have looted in the first place. By now I'm in the storm, and that's fine. I'm not worried about the storm. Historically speaking, the storm and I have a very long friendship. At this point I've accepted the truth. I've completely ruined the start of my game. So we activate the backup plan. The classic loot for ages until you feel emotionally stable again, which means wandering around deep in storm, visiting every barrel I know exists, like a slightly desperate tourist. Half the map is covered in storm. There are only 24 players left, and I'm still casually shopping for shield. I eventually drift over towards Tip Top Terrace, grab some meds from the machines, and finally decide it might be time to head towards zone. 15 players left now. This is without question going to be the most boring video I've ever recorded. But as I'm driving towards zone, something catches my eye. A boss medallion. So that means only one thing. There might be a chug jug. And I love a chug jug. So obviously I go and have a look. And when I get there, nobody's been there. Not a soul. The mythic enforcer is sitting there, a chug jug, just waiting. Apparently my terrible decision-making earlier was finally paid off. Suddenly life is good. I've got 4 bunkers, purple duels, mythic enforcer, shockwaves, a chug jug, and I am fully armed and emotionally recovered. And yet I'm still looking, because at this point looting isn't a strategy, it's a lifestyle. Eventually the storm reminds me I've pushed this relationship far enough. I'm getting storm sickness warnings now, which is Fortnite's polite way of saying, "Move, you idiot, there are only 10 players left." I finally escape the storm and roll into Battlewood Boulevard, purely because my health bar is starting to resemble a medical emergency. Even then, I'm still opening chests, still looting. I decide to use a medkit instead of my chug jug, which feels a sensible decision. The zone is weird, a tiny circle inside a massive one, like the game itself is confused about what it wants to do. My truck has performed heroically, finally starts running out of fuel. Then I notice something alarming on my map. 2 bosses, both very close, both moving fast, which probably means they're chasing each other in cars. Storm sickness warnings keep popping up now, which means staying in the storm is officially no longer an option. So I head for the zone, and somehow I end up hiding in a bush with both bosses on either side of me. One of them comes right up to the edge of my bush, but he's so focused on the opposition that he doesn't notice me sitting in the bush right next to him. So naturally, I start shooting at him, and he still doesn't notice. He's so tunnel visioned on the other player he's shooting at. So between me and the other boss guy, we knock him. Actually, I think I knocked him, but it doesn't really matter. He rolls away at the speed of light, which is interesting because whenever I'm knocked with a self-revive, I move like a depressed slug. I assume the other boss will finish him, so I shockwave away and let them deal with each other. 7 players left now, and that's when I run into Kim Kardashian, but I don't think she can walk in those heels because she's crouched right in front of me, not moving. She obviously needs to take some movement lessons from Webby. Way too easy of a kill. Now one of the bosses has scanned me, and every time I try and stop and heal, the storm sickness warnings start screaming at me again. At this point I realise something. The storm sickness might actually have saved me, because every time it panicked me into moving, I threw down bunkers, which I probably wouldn't have used otherwise, and those bunkers stopped the players from shooting me. So yes, I've decided storm sickness didn't nearly kill me. Storm sickness actually saved me. And now, here I am, 7 players left, 2 guns, 2 bunkers, and absolutely no idea how this ridiculous game is still going. Then I see it, a buffet of loot across the river. So while everyone else is busy murdering each other, I throw down a bunker, mythic duels and a chug-jug, only 80 charge left. But frankly at this stage, I'd drink cough syrup and optimism if it kept me alive. Now I've got 1 bunker left, a single remaining insurance policy. I wingsuit and land in a tree by chance. And the one that was shooting me as I was wingsuit suddenly stops, which probably means he's been eliminated, because he definitely saw me land in the tree, and the last 2 begin fighting beneath me. I have to drop carefully onto the roof, as I'm really high in this tree. Timing for once chooses to be on my side, and the player steps out from the tree with an art gun. There's a surprise. And then it's over. The match that began as a miserable storm-soaked disaster somehow ends in quiet, accidental competence. 4 bunkers saved me, 2 jug-jugs carried me, and the storm, my faithful travelling companion, finally lets me go. Not a heroic victory, not a glorious one, just the quiet survival of someone who refused to die when the game clearly expected it.